We're gonna get so much hate. Wait till I post this in the Tool Reddit. Shout out Tool Reddit. We're sorry.
I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine.
Luckily, Tool fans are known for their patience and understanding and open-mindedness.
Yeah.
We could just post that clip in the Tool Reddit right there.
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. Some upcoming artists we are covering are Jimi Hendrix, Quicksand, and the full 26-album discography of the Rolling Stone.
Jesus fucking hell.
If those interest you, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If they don't interest you, let us know in the comments below who you would like us to review, or better yet, sign up for our Patreon, and we will 100% cover any artist along with your rankings beside us.
For better or for worse, we need your money. Thank you.
Today, though, we are talking about Tool. We will be ranking their 5 studio albums. We're not doing EPs, so don't add us about Opiate in the comments below. Speaking of Tool, though, Christine could probably use some tools.
Yeah. Wow.
You're wondering. I'm telling you, I'm reaching. I'm trying everything.
Y'all are reaching, man. That was bad. But hey, you don't have to reach if your name is Stephen King, unless you're reaching to message us and say hi.
Yeah, let us know if you're a fan of Tool, Stephen King. Let us know on Twitter.
We love you. We love you.
Today, he's Rosetta Stoned, Tim.
Howdy.
And he's sober, Colquitt.
Yeah. For them, actually.
And we don't have an introduction for this meeting crasher here, but Joe, we just recorded another video with Joe, so he's stuck around for Tool. He's not going to be ranking with us. He's just here for the laughs.
I got it. This is his own eulogy, Joe. There you go. Maybe that's something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not.
And
I'm
it
not
took him,
guys. You know.
So
it took him 10,000 days to listen to 10,000 days. That's Jason.
Man, that's such a good intro.
I was just sitting.
Yeah,
you're so proud of that one.
It's a softball.
Let's get this out of the way. I'm the only one that likes this band a lot. So this is going to be.
What is your introduction to Tool?
Me?
Yeah.
Shit. I guess seeing the video for Sober on MTV when I was a wee one and going, that's cool. Because, I was like 11 or 10 or something. And then later when I was a little skate punk kid, this other skate punk kid had a copy of Opiate and he liked it a lot because they said the F word a whole lot. And that was the coolest thing for our suburban little lives. I'm glad it's not on this list because I don't care for it. But yeah. And then, when Ænima came out, that was a big deal for me and my little friend group, as well as Lateralus when that came out. Kind of faded with 10,000 Days. And then, Fear Inoculum kind of hit like right before the pandemic. So it's got a weird memory in my life as well because of its timing. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. I like them.
My relationship is I was like 13. I saw the video for Sober and said, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My friend Michael, shout out Michael, he bought the album on cassette. Only he bought it at Walmart. I'm gonna try to find a picture of it and put it on the screen now, but that's
me too. It's just a barcode at the Walmart. Yeah, that's the one I had too.
When you opened it up, it was like send him an email, or not an email, a self-addressed stamped envelope or whatever to get the real lyric sheet.
And the artwork, which was, to be fair, there was a reason why Walmart banned it, and it's okay. They weren't making a bad decision on their part.
Yeah, they are. Censorship sucks.
Yeah, but it's Walmart. They're not bastions of culture. They're Walmart. Who cares? Let them be babies. It's fine.
I'll talk about Ænima when we get there, but after that album, I dropped off, and so this last couple weeks is the first time I'd really heard the other 3 albums.
Oh, interesting.
But I do have Undertow as well.
Yeah. What's you,
Pay a
Timmy?
lot of money for Ænima. Yeah, Tim, what is your relationship with Tool?
Oh, okay. Well, I'd say, I'll start at the beginning, I guess. Like every dopey little kid my age, we were all really into green Jello when that came out. And between all of the releases and all my friends, we had them all. We had the VHS, which was the board game. We had the CD, which was the comic book. And we had the cassette tape, which was the trading cards. And between all that, just like the name Tool is in those liner notes all over the place. And of course, Danny and Maynard make appearances on that release. And so I was aware of Tool from pretty much the word go. And as a kid, I liked Undertow. The video came out. That was a big video that year. And so you couldn't avoid it. And I ended up buying the CD. And then Ænima came out. And I bought that one too. And then kind of listened to them both back to back. And at that point, I realized they weren't for me. So I ended up giving them away. And so for the last 25 years or whatever, I feel like I've been forced to listen to Tool. And I don't want to. But that's okay, because I'll do it for this. Yeah. And I have heard all of these albums because I've met a lot of cool people over the years. Everything on paper about Tool I should like, but there's just something about this band that I don't. And so I would say my relationship with Tool is negative.
Okay. Well, on that note, we only have 5 albums, so we're not going to do any top hidden ones. And we changed our color, if you've been paying attention. Red used to be trash. That's a little harsh, so now it's do not recommend. So I guess
y'all are getting just as PC as Walmart over here.
I guess I'll go ahead and do mine. I've got 2 must-hears, 1 proceed with caution, and 2 of them I don't recommend.
Wow.
Okay.
It's the first Red we've had in a long time.
Since the Doors, I think.
Yeah.
We're pretty similar here. I'm going to say that 4 and 5 are also going to be do not recommend. Trash. And then I'm going to put 2 and 3 with proceed with caution. And then I'll put number 1 must hear.
That's higher than I thought you would go, honestly.
Well, and I'll have my reasoning when we get there.
All right, Colquitt, what about you? Anytime we say the word trash, his dog barks, dude. It's crazy.
Dog barking. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Cora apparently likes Tool a lot, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to also go 5 and 4 with Reds. And then I will put the rest is green, though. The rest are all green. And that might be peer pressure a little bit, but you know,
you got to stand by your bands, dude.
I mean,
Green Day, I put Father of all motherfuckers green.
I never listened to those records, so I could easily say that, you know, I do not recommend them. You know, just a thing.
So, and before y'all get too far, just to throw in something in the hat there, I'm with you as far as how I found Tool was sober, but it was some TK. And then I have no idea about the second album. I don't know anything about it, but Lateralus was huge in 2001 for B-Town.
That's crazy.
Old B-Town.
Oh yeah, B-Town loves
Lateralus is everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's all I got for you. That was my 2 cents. I don't know the rest of them.
I'll give Tool that when they put out an album, it is a big deal, like in the music community. You know, as a whole, it's a big deal. As you can see, there's some gaps.
Yeah, the jump between 10K and Fear is amazing. Like that's a
what they're doing
now. like release.
What they're doing is they're releasing albums but having prime numbers in between each release. So they're going to exponentially get longer and longer. It's all part of the marketing.
I think they're all outside of Undertow. I think they're all actually the same length, but
no, I mean the in between song, in between releases.
Okay. It's the Fibonacci ratio. It's
well, they did that on the album. So with the releases, they're doing prime numbers. This joke didn't go anywhere. I'm sorry.
I don't know nothing about pastrami. I don't know nothing about some cold meats and math.
Pastrami, delicious. Let me tell you, we got a great recipe for you coming up. It's going to be in the credits.
I like a good capicola. You know,
the editors. No, you got to send it to the editor. I'll put it in. All right, moving on.
Dear letter to the editor, please send me as much free stuff as possible.
Send me all the recipes.
Word.
All right, Undertow. I guess
the introduction to the world, really. Cool kids knew about Opiate, but this was when everybody found out about them.
Yeah, I didn't hear Opiate till after Undertow. I'm an MTV turd, I guess.
Yeah.
Love Intolerance, but You Lied, Cheat, and Steal. Great opening. Then you got the 1-2 Prison Sex, Sober. Both fucking great. Bottom Rocks. Love the guitar riffs and Crawl Away. Again, great lyrics. I Can See Your Back Is Turning. If I could, I'd stick a knife in. Swamp Song is fine. I really like Maynard's lyrics on this one. They're not as abstract and pretentious. There's still a little bit of that, but it's more tolerable on this one. The songs are tighter. There isn't any pointless fluff in songs or whole tracks. Not really a bad song on it. But they do all kind of sound the same. But if you like that sound, you'll be okay. If not, no. This album is probably their heaviest and pretty close to some of their best, I think.
Yeah, I tend to be able to get about 3/4 of the way through this album before the fatigue really starts to kick in.
It's very samey. It is very samey.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. It is probably their heaviest, I guess, as far as guitar tone and all that good stuff. First #first album bias.
That's fair. This is not my favorite record by them. I think it's proto butt rock, and I'm not apologizing for that. like tonally, it can be almost like a post-hardcore record, but nah. This influenced like more bad bands than good ones, in my opinion. 4 Degrees is good. Beginning of Maynard's kind of I don't know, legacy of double entendre lyrical themes relating to butt stuff, I guess. It's fair because this record's very butt rock. So go ahead and start with the butt stuff on this record, I guess. By the way, 4 Degrees, the anal cavity is 4 degrees warmer than the vaginal cavity, apparently. And that's where the title comes from. Little trivia, unfortunate trivia. I don't know. I mean, lyrically, it's kind of bad. Like all the songs are about water and stuff, and it works thematically, but kind of sheesh a little bit. Prison Sex is good. Title track and Flood are fun. Swamp Song, which I loved as a little 13-year-old kiddo because of its lyrics. It's a very 90s vibe. It's not my jam. I don't like this record at all. In fact, it's my number 5. It's Red. I don't suggest listening to it.
Yeah. I heard your nah.
Yeah. Let me talk to you. I'm trying to drop as much in as possible.
I call it. I love it.
We need to get a dummy button at some point so we can do the dummy. Yeah.
Tim, what about you? You didn't say much about it, so I'm assuming it's one of these red ones.
No, so it's going to be my number 1. And it is going to be #bias.
Dude, that is so on brand for you, Tim. I love it.
It's my number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's my one green one because I feel like you should listen to Tool and you should see if it's for you. And if you're gonna pick one, this would be the one I would recommend.
I wouldn't say that.
No, I'd say compared to the rest of the discography, or at least the majority of the discography, it doesn't sound like the Tool that most people would suggest nowadays to listen to.
Well, sure. And so my reasoning here, though, would be if you like this, you'll probably like the rest of it. If you don't like this, it's not for you.
That's fair. That's fair. I just don't like it. And I'm probably the odd one in the Tool fan base for that, too. So,
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going number one. Why not?
No, I think you'd have a lot of Tool fans agree with you, too, to be fair.
Really?
So I'd like to point something out for earlier for the audience. I was making a lot of faces when y'all were putting reds places because I thought the red under 5 was Undertow and
no, that's our placement.
Because I'm a dummy. The more you know now.
I gotta put a little.
Because I was like, man, Jason's.
Yeah,
see, that's why we got rid of Ed and Joe, man. They don't see these spaces.
we don't know that. We're old. We don't know things.
Well, no, I mean, we could. To be fair, we could probably change it graphically to fit more in a way that is, because you're not the only person who said that. To be fair,
I blame it on me. I think that it might be. It's now while I'm looking at it, it makes more sense to be like, oh yeah, I see what you've done here. But like when Jason's talking,
I'm gonna put a hard line
Undertow
across.
There you go. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Anyway, let's move on.
Sorry.
Ænima. Who wants to start on this one? I went first last time.
We got to roll some dice, guys.
I think that it starts off pretty strong. I think like the first quarter of this album, it sounds pretty good. But then it loses me after that. And it all like starts really blending in. And I feel like you're going to get most of what you're going to get from this album from the first 4 songs. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of dissipates.
Okay.
For me, it loses me. I'm so sorry. No, I know I should like it, and I know it's, a defining album of a decade and of a genre, but this band is just, I think they're all very good players. And I've been struggling with this for years, because I bought this album. I'd hear the songs on the radio and I think, oh, that's rad. I should check it out. And it's a struggle to get through this album for me.
Man. All right.
I think I just thought of this, but I think a lot of it's time. Like you of course were listening to better shit in 96, but 96, that was before I was really listening to good music. So this was fucking insanely good in 1996.
Sure. Yeah. No, by 96, I was pretty much completely ignoring charts and what was popular or being played on the radio or MTV even for that matter. I was, I had found bands I liked and they were sending me on my own path. So I didn't need the guidance at that point. I was certainly aware of them because, like you said, it's an event every time and you can't escape these songs. They just kind of creep up and get inside you occasionally.
So for this album, it's story time. This album came out in September 1996. Sublime Self-Titled came out in July of 1996. I met Michael Eddington in 1997. Those were the only 2 fucking albums that he played. And when I say the only 2, I'm not saying he occasionally threw in something else here and there. No. That is all he had in his car was Ænima.
You sure he didn't have Bob Marley Legend?
I never heard no Bob Marley. I rode around with him a lot. He used to take me to school. So this album was ingrained in my head, along with Sublime. I love Stinkfist. Really interesting drumming on this. Love Eulogy. It does take too long to get going, but the clicks and the beeps don't bother me. Maybe because I've heard it 1,000 times. It goes back to my story. The effects on Maynard's voice and parts just works. Age is fine. Useful Idiot is pointless, but it's only 40 seconds, so it kind of works as an intro to 46 and 2, which is a great one. This is a huge step up from Undertow. A lot more variety in songs, vocal performance. The pointless fluff is here, but it's minimal. Message is okay. I can do without it, though. Kills the flow of the album for me. Hooker with a Penis is fucking great, though. Intermission is fine. It's okay to have a short, dumb intermission on the record. Jimmy is haunting with a great vocal delivery, especially the "he was too scared to realize you were the voice that's been calling me back home" line. Dire Von Satan is funny the first time you hear it, and you learn what it is. Then it's pointless, and it could be off the album. I love the intro to Push It. This one is 9 minutes long. But again, I don't mind it. If you're going to make a long track, at least make it interesting throughout. And Push It does this. Then we get another short, pointless track. Moving on. Ænima is top tier. Love this song. Followed up by the longest, pointless filler track on the album. Eons is dumb. Third Eye is 13 minutes, but it's probably their best closer on any album. Lots of good shit happening on this one. I think this is the second best sounding Tool record, and the highs are really high. It's peak fucking Tool, and I would buy this on vinyl in a heartbeat at a normal store price. I ain't paying no crazy fucking prices for it.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. It is probably their best sounding album.
I think it's their second best sounding. There's one more coming up that sounds really good production-wise to me.
Okay.
I love that our ears are all so different. It's so great. Like, it's fun. Like, yeah, it's cool. For me, biographically, I had some friends that were, I was, I guess, 14 or 15 around the time this came out, and I had some friends that were into fun stuff, and we did fun stuff, and we sometimes skip school and do fun stuff while listening to this record. It was pivotal for me, this record, actually. For me, like Tim, I also wasn't paying attention to the charts necessarily either. I didn't know. I mean, I knew it was a popular record, but I never listened to the radio. I had my own taste by then. So I was like, I think other than Smashing Pumpkins at this time, obviously, I was listening to Skinny Puppy and Front 242 and a lot of gothic industrial kind of music at the same time. So for me, like, even a song like the Dire Von Satan is hilarious to me because it sounds like a pretty decent industrial song, honestly. It's
yeah.
It's also a joke song. Like, I don't like a lot of the segues. I think this band relies too much on segues to fill gaps in the record, just to fill the record. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Like, I do think Intermission's hilarious because it's just like we'd turn on a strobe light while it played on loop and just act like we were in a Charlie Chaplin film or something. Like, it was a lot of fun for us. And then, but it also leads in directly into Jimmy, kind of like on a later record. Parable and Parabola have a fade into each other too, so it's fun that it does that at least. I don't know, man. I think Bill Hicks was my guy. I appreciate the dedication and the homage to him throughout the record. Stinkfist, fire. Eulogy, fire. H, fire. 46 and 2, fire. Hooky Wore the Penis, fire. Jimmy, fire. Push It, fire. Ænima, fire. Third Eye, fire. It's all fire except for the segues. Like, every song on here is dope. 100% the best to me. I don't, it's just like, it's before they got too proggy and too kind of full of themselves musically. Like, it is kind of like the essence of what this band is to me, this entire record. Like, I just love it. It's so good.
All right. It's my number one.
Me too.
I love that record.
It's my number one as well.
It's my number 2.
Yay! Okay, we all agree that this is of the better.
You put
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
All right.
When's he sing about making wine?
I don't think he does, really. No. He might on a Pussifer record or something, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, he saves that for the Perfect Circle albums.
There you go.
Joe, you got to stick around. You could do the artwork. You don't have to listen to the albums for that.
That's true.
All right.
I don't have high hopes.
Lateralus. I guess it's Colquitt's turn to talk first.
Okay. Sonically, like, this is when this record in 10,000 Days became like event records for me and my friend Nick. Like, when they came out, his car had an awesome sound system, so we'd get slightly inebriated and just sit in his car and listen to it as loud as humanly possible. And this record, like the production on it is a leap and a bound above Ænima as far as like sonic clarity. Like it was like an HD CD or whatever, which was, I don't know, something that probably isn't real, but in our heads, it made it sound cooler. But sonically it just hit me over the head. I think the mixing's really superb, and it made me look at the band a little bit differently, which as it should have, because also the songs are also more ornate and experimental as far as time signatures and stuff goes. Like it's them definitely kind of progging out quite a bit, which is fine with me, because there in another timeline they could have just gotten more butt rock to me, and that would have been awful. Like this was like a crisis point in Infinite Earths for this band in a way, and I think it was the most successful. I don't know. But like the grunt just opens you and hits you over the head, like mythological references and Jungian psychology lyrically, and just weird pummeling drums. And I don't know, it's a weird record, man. It's a kind of a weird record. The Patient's still one of my favorite ballads ever. And yeah, it is a ballad. It's a proggy contemplated power ballad, but it's a ballad. Schism was the first song I heard from this. My friend Randy like recorded it on TK because they released it early or something. And he had a tape, and we listened to it in my friend's garage on a tape, like a little crappy tape player. It's a really good song. It's not my favorite, but I understand why it's such a popular song with the fan base. I think Parable and Parabola are perfect rock songs. I think they're just perfect. They're just, that guitar part's so fun. I don't care for Ticks and Leeches. Lateralus is a perfect prog rock kind of anthem song almost, in a way. There's just so much fun stuff that happens musically in that. And the rest of the record, I just don't really care that much for. I think Disposition's really good, but the next two parts of the trilogy or whatever, of Triad or whatever, just leave me hanging, man. They don't do much for me. Yeah, it's a good record, and I respect it, but it's not at all my favorite.
Jesus Christ, man. We're like polar opposites. Every time. If I say I like this, I hated this one, Coke was like, I hate, love. Or vice versa. Every time.
We got different ears, man. It's fun.
The Grudge, good bass intro. Just sounds like Maynard's just randomly singing over the song, though. The melody doesn't really fit with it until about 2 minutes in, then it comes together. Beyond Blue is pointless. The Patient, 7 minutes. First 2 minutes are boring, go nowhere. Then finally something happens. Really hurts that we did the Dead Kennedys last week. Going from Jello's lyrics to this is
breakneck. It's a neck break for real.
The Patient. Patience. What a pun. So creative. Mantra is pointless. Schism was a little boring. Really reflects the popular musical landscape in 2001, winning a Grammy there. It was better than Parabola, though. That shit was really boring. I did really like Parabola, though. It sounded more like older Tool, and it kicked some ass. Great guitar solos. Ticks and Leeches is really damn good as well. Lovely vocal delivery. Title track, long, boring intro, but it does get better. Would have been an amazing 4-minute song. Cut about 5 minutes of it. It was great. I do love the outro, though. Spiral Out, Keep Going. I usually don't like slower Tool, but I dug Disposition. I really like the second half of this record. Hated the first half, but I do think this is their best sounding record production-wise. Like, this record sounded really fucking good.
From my quick Google, by the way, Colquitt, it's Ænima their best selling.
Okay, cool.
That makes sense.
Ænima.
One note, the OAD is actually a recording from the Art Bell Coast to Coast show. Some crazy guy claiming to work at Area 51, but it's got a crazy scary drum beat behind it, and it's kind of fun. And like when we listened to it in Nick's car, when it got to the secret track, his disc player started counting backwards, like from 99, like very rapidly to 0. And we started getting really fucking scared because the drums kept building as that was happening. And it was just the scariest thing ever. Anyway, Tim, how'd you feel about this record?
On paper, I like the concepts. I like that they were able to take the Fibonacci sequence and work that in musically. but then I listened to it and like it sounds like Tool, so I like it in concept but not execution. This one just feels very meandery to me and almost very mathy as well. I do get like a strong Meshuggah influence from this, where like they were just trying to get kind of nuts but not as intense.
Yeah, this is no Meshuggah record by any means. No.
Yeah, it's I was off the train by this point, and I remember it being an event, and I remember skipping that event entirely. And yeah, it's a tough one to listen to for me. There is a couple of good songs on there, like the first song is pretty cool, and the Ticks and Leeches is all right, but yeah, I'm gonna put it at number 4.
Real quick, which one is it yours?
It's my number 3. Like, I think sonically it's worth, you should, if you want to listen to Tool, you should probably listen to this record at least, you know?
I mean, if you want to listen to Tool, you should probably listen to them all because they all sound very much like Tool.
It's my number 3 as well. I forgot to mark our colors here.
Yeah.
So when I fill it in, we can see what color we were in. Oh yeah, you didn't have any yellow, did you?
No yellow for me.
Green.
It's either listen to it or don't listen to it.
One of the albums we're about to talk about popped up on a meme for me today, where it is that you either love it or you hate it, and I get it. You know, on paper, like it should make a lot of sense for me. Just musically, I find a lot of this discography pretty boring, and I can only take it in really small chunks. Like I can listen to this one song, and like find parts about it I like. Like Danny Carey's an amazing drummer. Adam Jones is an amazing guitar player.
Yeah. The instrumentation's great.
Yeah. And yeah, the songwriting here is pretty, I mean, they're are they the Rush of the 90s? Or are they the Eagles of the 90s?
Oh, okay.
I'm not really sure.
And I knew you brought up the Eagles before, and they're definitely not the Eagles of the 90s. That would be like better than Ezra or some shit.
Well, no, because much like the Eagles, you either have an intense love for everything they do.
I think they're closer to like maybe like a hybrid between like a Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. Because I don't care for Led Zeppelin, and I don't care a whole lot about Pink Floyd either. But they both have the very singular album kind of vibe going on. Both of those bands, their albums, they made albums. They didn't make singles or collections of singles. They made entire albums that have a mood and pitch. I know you're going to disagree.
Well, every artist did in the 70s, I would say.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
For the most part.
I guess you could say Casey and the Sunshine Band did too.
Sgt. Pepper, Beggar's Banquet.
As your outsider for Tool, I think Tool's hits are unique enough to listen to be like, okay, this is a unique thing. But once you put it in the full album where it's all unique and it all sounds just like that,
oh man, see, I love those
albums. And because I'm with you, I've tried to listen to something like Lateralus, for example. I owned Lateralus. I tried to listen to it, and to be perfectly honest, once you got past the hits, it was like, man, this all sounds very like bleedy into each other.
I remember liking Schism okay back in the day, but when I listened to it on this, I was like, this sucks.
That's how I felt about Undertow today. Is literally like when I was listening to it again today, I was like, yeah, that's I hated it. You know, just one of those things, man.
I put Lateralus yellow just because I think the second half of that record is really fucking good. You just got to get to it. It would be, if I was still on the train, I probably would have been into Lateralus, but I had already jumped off the mainstream train by that point. Onward to 10,000 days. We're going to get so much hate. Wait till I post this in the Tool Reddit. Shout out Tool Reddit. We're sorry.
I think
Tool
you'll
Reddit.
be fine. I think you'll be fine.
Luckily, Tool fans are known for their patience and understanding and open-mindedness.
Yeah.
We could just post that clip in the Tool Reddit right there.
That's
Yeah, actually,
that
should be the 30-second intro right there.
That's it.
That would be a perfect clip for
I'm
sure.
writing it down. All right, 10,000 days. I guess I'll start because I think it'd be better to end on something positive.
Yeah, guys, go ahead and get the hate out, man. I'll save it with some sweetness.
All right, this album is already starting out better than Lateralus. I like the opening lines. Eye on the TV, cause tragedy thrills, because tragedy thrills me. Whatever flavor it happens to be, like killed by the husband, drowned by the ocean, shot by his own son. She used poison in the tea. That was like the lyrics were really good. Jambi was cool as shit with the palm muted riff and the cool ass bass. Wings for Mary sounded like a rejected late Thrice song. Part 2 is even worse, as it's 11 minutes of boring. There's a cool guitar riff around 8 minutes in, but it's a little too late and not worth sitting through 7 minutes of meh. The pot, holy shit. I knew Maynard had a voice, but hitting that octave, that was impressive as fuck. Like, I even pinged Chloe. I was like, who the fuck is singing on this? And then I heard I was like, holy shit. Plus the song is a nice rocker after the last 2 slugs. Lippin?
It's a wolf. It's a wolf spirit in Native American culture, I believe.
Okay.
Well,
Hey, look, another pointless song to pad out the album length. And look, Lost Keys, a 3-minute, 40-second long song, is just as fun to listen to as sitting in a doctor's office waiting room. It's like he's just fucking petting his cat on that one, I think. Rosetta Stone was fun, though. Probably the highlight. Decent lyrics, too. Love the, and can anyone tell me why you all sound like Peanuts' parents line? I LOL'd. It's 11 minutes long, but enjoyable all the way through. Intention was 7 minutes, but felt like 7 hours. It does have a pretty little moment about 3/4 in, but again, not worth the wait to get to it. Right into, I like the lyrics, monkey killing, monkey over. Pieces of the ground, silly monkeys. You think he was talking about Vampire Monkey?
No.
Yes.
That'd be cool if 2 angels were debating the validity of Vampire Monkey.
Okay, I'm throwing a
We're throwing
excuse. The music, though, was a slog to get through. Doesn't pick up until halfway in, and even then, it doesn't do anything that interesting. Closing track. Hey guys, look, we filled up the full runtime of a CD by putting absolutely nothing of value for 5 minutes.
I will say this before we get there. Vignity Trace is just an instrumental, and technically, it'll play over either Wings of Marie or right into one of the songs on there, and it's an extra element to the song, kind of like how the Flaming Lips had 2 records you were supposed to play at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's not. It shouldn't be on the record. It's a waste of It is an empty waste of time. They could have just put it on the song. It would have been fine.
Yeah, the Flaming Lips did that shit. That was weird. This album sounded more like Perfect Circle than Tool, and fuck a Perfect Circle, which is why. No, I can't say the rest of that. It was.
For the record, I enjoy A Perfect Circle a little bit more than I enjoy Tool.
See, I'm not a Perfect Circle guy at all. I like Pucifer if I'm going to listen to anything.
I saw
that would be my go-to as well.
And it was a fucking horrible show.
Shout out to Bob and David.
Yeah, for real. Good peeps.
Would you go? They opened for 9 Inch Nails, and Perfect Circle was so fucking boring live. And then 9 Inch Nails comes out, open with March of the Pigs. Trent fucking jumps in the crowd. You don't see him again for like 3 songs.
Yeah, you're never going to put on a better show than 9 Inch Nails if you're playing a show with 9 Inch Nails. It's just never going to happen. Like, I get sidetracked, but I got to see them on the Ninja Tour with Jane's Addiction, and I happened to be at the show where Jane's Addiction were the closers, and no, it just didn't work, guys. After 9 Inch Nails, you're not going to sound good. It's just a bad idea. This record, I love it a lot. I think it's their most accessible record, ironically.
Really?
Yeah, Vicarious is like boom. Like everything that's cool about Tool is in that one song, honestly. I think Jambi's got like they literally say they when they were writing the song, it's because they toured with Meshuggah and they were really impressed at Meshuggah, and that riff is such a Meshuggah riff, man. It's a good riff and I like it. I do agree Wings for Marie and the whole two-parter is way too long, and I do wind up skipping it if I'm just not really wanting to hear it. But if I'm in a mood and contemplating like my existence or whatever, like in life after death and all that shit, it's a good kind of meditation on that, and it's worth it if it's very situational though. You're not going to just want to listen to it, you know. I think The Pot is hilarious lyrically. It's just funny as hell. Talking about hypocrisy and all that with in regards to anything really. It's got the two different kind of cool visual metaphors happening. It's a lot of fun, and musically, it's dude, that song's got some heaviness to it, man. It's kind of got like a poppy head bob rock to it, but it's still got some heaviness to it.
Yeah.
Rosetta Stone and Lost Keys are like, because it's telling a story, man. That's the doctor's asking the guy how he is, and then he just goes off about this weird trip he went on with aliens and somniferous almond eyes and all this other weird stuff. But like, it's just funny because it's making fun of like all of that whole culture, which is good for them to be self-aware enough to do that, considering their fans are generally of that culture. But when it hits the weird Aboriginal kind of trip with the bass and it's just weird and intense, that part makes the song worth it. I think Riding 2 is super nice. It's super preachy, but it's really nice. And Intention and Vignes Trace they're okay. But I think as an album, I hated it when it came out. I didn't like it at all. I liked a couple songs and I didn't like it. But as it's grown on me with the years, it's grown better to me. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean you gotta think, like, I've only listened to this album one time, no research on any of the stories or any of that stuff, so this is like first impressions almost.
Yeah, that's true.
What about you, Tim?
Well, yeah. I think if you need the backstory and or a math equation to enjoy an album,
Or drugs?
or yeah, right, or hallucinogens, or I don't know, some real fun podcast, or something else like that to expand your mind, then maybe something's off. I do think The Pot is cool. That is a pretty awesome song, and it fits very nicely in with my experience with Tool, where you can hear a song here and there and be like, okay, yeah, that one's decent. But then by the end of it, you're like, yeah, but it's Tool, and I don't want to hear anymore. And yeah,
Tim, I think you and I are the same way on Tool.
Yeah, there's something about them that irks me. And I do. I going through this discography, I literally fell asleep in the middle of every single one of these albums and had to figure out where I dropped off. They're kind of narcoleptic, and this is the worst of the bunch for me.
All right, well, before we do our rankings, I think we need to cut to a commercial.
No, we can do the ranking real quick before the commercial. We've already talked about it. We just put them in. Let's plug them in.
All right.
Fine.
Well, see, I'm trying to put them on the old cliffhanger,
Oh, okay. Well, you are the boss, sir, so we'll go with you.
So yeah, you guys got to stick around for the commercial. See where we rank this album.
And we love you, Tool Reddit.
Well, making their television debut right here on Tool Time, K&B and the boys and Janine, rock, let's roll.
Pete! That would be me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back from that commercial. Be sure to check out Home Improvement on ABC's every Tuesdays and whenever they fit. So yeah, we're
It's a
gonna
new night.
rank 10,000 Days. It's my number 4. Go ahead and slap that right there. Tim, what you got?
Cinco.
Wait.
That'd be Trace. We're going number 5.
Yeah, the image just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it.
Oh.
Well, it's my number 2. So y'all, we're just all wrong. We just don't agree on that one. That's fun.
All right, last but not least, well, some cases it is, Inoculum. The opening track was okay. It was long, but it was okay. Second track was boring as fuck. That's the problem with longer songs. If they're boring, they suck twice as hard. This song goes absolutely nowhere. Around 7 minutes in, it switches to another boring segment. I don't even think the production is as good as the past albums. Track 3 is the let's throw a shorter track of noise on here to pad out the album length track. They could have just extended track 2 by 2 minutes of repeating music and it would have made no fucking difference. Invincible at close to 7 minutes, it finally gets interesting. Love the drumming and the guitars on this part. Still nothing crazy good like the earlier albums, but at least has a little bit of energy. Legion is 3 minutes of pointlessness. Descending, while still kind of boring, I did like the sound of this one. The guitars really popped on it, and it does pick up. This is track 6. Maynard hasn't really done anything in this album, like, too crazy. It's all sung in almost the same key, the same way. It's still Maynard, so it still sounds good. There's just a little variety in his like pitches and melodies. Same with Culling. Chocolate Chip Trip was pointless, but at least it was interesting. So far, the best song on the album. Great drum beats. Impest 7 Imp.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it either. Yeah, I hate that title.
That one was really fucking good though. Finally, this album does something. Stupid ass closing track with mock and beat. Only 2 songs I really like: Chocolate Chip Trip and 7 Impest.
Z Tempest,
Which is the one that won the Grammy that year. So
see, I didn't even know that was a single until afterwards.
I don't think it was a single. I think that's the one they submitted to the Grammys for consideration.
Yeah.
That was a good fucking song.
Yeah, they didn't really actually have any singles for this record, I don't think. I think they just put it out.
Yeah, it's just New Tool. There you go.
That's all.
And then everybody played every song to death.
They did on the radio and stuff.
I mean, TK's still playing 46 and 2, so.
Yeah, but that's from a really good record, so I'm okay with that. You know. I guess I'll go next. It's not my favorite. After waiting like 15 years for a new Tool record, like this is what came, and I was like, all right. Like it's basically an excuse for Danny Carey to show off how good of a drummer he is for the most of the record. Like even Ænima, which is a really popular song, and I hope nobody gets mad at Jason for hating on it that hard, but like it is just an excuse for him to play a cool drum solo after every verse. Basically, it's just da 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 da, and then he, it shows off how he can do multiple time signatures simultaneously in the boring part, as you put it. Like musically, it's fucking crazy good, but like just from a drumming perspective, I don't think there's much else going on there. The guitar part, although that big riff is fun, there's not a lot to it. I mean, I think Invincible and I think Descending are the highlights for me. Those are my 2 favorite songs on the record, the ones I consider to be good, cool songs. I think Tempest is fun. I'm not hating on Tempest, man. It's a good song. It's nice to hear Adam get to let loose on a record that's mainly drum oriented. It's really cool to hear. But that said, it still kind of feels like a throwback in the same way. Like it doesn't feel like a progression, but it also is really fun to listen to. It's a lot of fun. And I don't know, man. The segues on this are just trash, really. Like just some weird synth noodling, Chocolate Chip Trip's cool and weird and interesting, but for the most part, all the title tracks, okay. It just kind of meanders. It doesn't really go anywhere for me. Yeah, it's after 15 years to get that as like somebody who loved the previous records a whole lot. It's just disappointing, man. It's not. It was a letdown for me. Like two or three good songs after 15 years.
There's like 10 tracks too. Man, I mean,
Yeah.
they're all fucking long as shit, but
But I mean, half of them are just noodling on a synthesizer or weird, manipulation of vocals. Like it's not even like on previous records, at least the segues had a purpose in some way, at least of just being odd and fun. These just don't really do anything. They're just kind of there, like even more so than usual. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
all right, Tim.
Yeah, it's a pretty good baseline record.
That too, yeah.
It's the there are moments of every song that are actual songs that are pretty cool. But when you take the whole thing in, there's a lot of noodling. There's a lot of meandering. So third verse, same as the first other four. Sounds like Tool. And if you like it, you're going to love it. And I definitely heard this album a lot when it came out. It was played a lot where I work. In an 8-hour work day, we'd listen to it 4 or 5 times, kind of a lot. And even hearing it that much, which is probably one of the Tool albums I've heard that much, I still can't even tell you where songs begin and end.
Yeah.
You'd figure at a kindergarten classroom they wouldn't play the song a lot there, Tim, but
well, luckily they're all deaf. So they play whatever they want.
I forgot to mention because nobody else did actually. I was surprised. I thought somebody else would bring up Calling Voices, which is Tool's acoustic song, I guess you could say. And it's whining about cancel culture. Get the fuck out of my fucking stereo with that bullshit. Shut the fuck up, Maynard. You're old. We're old. Just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Anyway,
came for the socialists. Now speak
out. Song pisses me off. I don't like it.
All right, let's
Shots fired.
Well, I mean, dude, it's like Bill Maher complaining about shit. It's like, shut the fuck up, Bill Maher. Nobody gives a shit what you fucking think.
Now, Maynard, if you'd like to come and show us your backs and talk to us to defend that song, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't want him on. That would be the worst thing ever.
I don't know. I watched it. I've watched an interview with him before. It was pretty interesting. Like he was.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if he wants to talk about. Anyway, whatever.
Let's move
on.
It's my least favorite. Like I did not like this album, and I thought it was going to be my bottom one, but this one surpassed it tremendously.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd take 10,000 Days over this one.
As would I.
So yeah, this seemed to be consistently the highest. This would be second. This would be third.
Yeah, really only the real disparity was on 10,000 Days in Undertow for me and you guys, I think.
Yeah. And I think Lateralus, it could grow on me if I listened to it more. I'd have to listen to that first half a few more times to maybe get it. I don't know, but first impressions, it was. So yeah, leave us a comment down below what your favorite Tool record is.
Yeah, I mean, guys, look, if
Opiate.
If this review pissed you off, let us know in the comments because we really need to drive, participation or whatever they call it. So it's not going to hurt us.
And we're not afraid to let you know if we just don't like a band. We're sorry. You're free to like whatever bands you like, and we're free to not like whatever bands we don't like.
And we said it from the beginning. We told our story of how, I got off the Tool train. I had a week with 3 albums, so I may be missing something. Who knows?
I mean, no, I think this band's sound is so singular. Like you hear a song that's by Tool, you know it's a Tool song.
Tool. Yeah.
So if you just don't like that song, you're probably not gonna like Tool because they all have the same very singular sound. They're very I don't know.
Very Rush-like.
Yeah, and you don't like Rush either, do you, Tim?
I mean, again, musically, I think that there's a lot of interesting things going on, but
Rush,
I hate Rush.
no, I don't.
It's very Coheed and Cambria-ish. You hear
Shout out
Coheed
Sam.
song.
He loves Rush.
Well, now I hate Coheed and Cambria, guys. So
yeah, I fucking hate Coheed too.
I like Coheed.
Jason, high five, Jason! Yay! I thought for sure maybe that would be a band.
Jason, don't high five the person who likes Tool. Come on.
Hey, he hates Coheed, so.
Hey man, we can.
The friend of my, or the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Look. I was married to somebody that really liked Coheed and Cambria. I don't judge people on their musical tastes. You know, it's all good. We just difference opinion. You know, it's fun.
I like Coheed. I don't like Coheed enough to like read the comic book.
Yeah, and that like one record just literally about a kid loses his bike or some shit. Like I don't understand. You know,
it's like three of them are actually more than three now. Or about his comic, the world he set up in it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. No. I like the songs. I don't really. The more I tried to delve in it, the less I liked it. I was like, let's not do that. Let's just enjoy.
I saw them because Against Me opened for them once, and it was really cool to see Against Me.
Every time I've seen Against Me, they've gotten worse.
Well, this was like literally like reinventing Axl Rose era. This was like right when Coheed was getting popular.
Well, we saw Against Me like 3 or 4 times in the span of 2 years. By accident.
I keep trying to like Against Me, and I just because it's like, oh, it should be one of those bands you like, and I just do not.
We actually ran into you at one of those shows.
I thought for sure that Jason, you would like them for some reason. I don't know. This is kind of up your alley. The kind of like politically active punk kind of stuff.
I've tried reinventing a few times. I just can't get through it. I mean, that's a band that like I'd love to do on the show.
Yeah.
So I can deep dive them, but we ran into you at one of those shows actually.
Yeah.
Joe and I were working it was either the merch booth or the pita stand. We always got thrown into running stands at shows. And you came running up and said something about Against Me's playing, I'm going, and like took off.
Was it Shocktoberfest? Was that when we?
Might have been Shocktoberfest.
Don't remember.
Were they like Yellow Card's gonna be here? No, they're not. Anyway, that has been our rankings for Tool.
Stay tuned for top songs.
Yeah, please like, subscribe. We're going to do our top songs. That's usually a lot more positive. And then we'll talk about the artwork. We may let Joe join in because, why not? Be sure to like, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Check out our socials below. And as always, be safe. Make good decisions.
Gimme pizza. Pizza.